CTV News at 5 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for being with us on this Wednesday, December 10th. There is a heavy police presence tonight on Bowman Avenue in Kapuskasing. Ontario Provincial Police are asking the public to avoid the area. Details are limited at this hour. More information will be released as it becomes available. Light snow in our broadcast region, but there were some sunny breaks today. For more details on what we can expect, let's bring in CTV's Rick Wyman.
Colder weather, Tony, that's what it's all about after the snow. Of course, with that low pressure system, we'll be getting into or easing into high pressure system. You can see the squalls and flurries leave the Parry Sound area, so that's good news. Right now, let's take a look at the forecast radar as issued by Environment Canada. First take on weather brought to you by CAA. Get your membership today at caa.ca. You can see the system filtering out, and with it a little bit of high pressure. So again, we'll get some sunshine in a day or so. Predominantly cloudy for tomorrow. Some details on the 5-day forecast.
Thanks for that, Rick. The Ontario Building and Construction tradeswomen are calling for mandatory anti-discrimination and anti-harassment training across the Ontario construction industry. CTV's Madison Merrier has that story.
There's nothing worse than having that gut feeling of I don't want to go to work because you know you're going to be bullied.
The OBCT wants to make anti-discrimination and anti-harassment training mandatory as they feel there is a gap in retention.
Individuals will have the policy posted. It talks about what to do, but there was never any preventative steps or measures to help stop it before it happens, right? Having a policy just alone is very reactive, and what we're trying to do is be proactive in our industry.
In a survey done by the OBCT of 342 women, 52% indicated they have experienced harassment on the work site. And of those, 51% reported feeling unsatisfied with how the situation was handled.
The demand for tradespeople in general is so high right now. We can't refuse people just because of their gender or their skin color or their preferences. It has nothing to do with your ability to do a trade.
The Occupational Health and Safety Act says companies are required to develop and maintain a written program to implement the policy with respect to workplace harassment.
So every organization is required to have a health and safety policy and a violence and harassment policy in their workplace. And it's a testament or a commitment to preventing those bad things from happening in the workplace.
So there's a little line in there that a lot of people get confused, and it says there has to be a policy and training, but the training is training on the policy, meaning for the individuals who need that policy, they'll just talk about what the steps are in the policy, where the policy will be posted, and that's simply where it stops. While other provinces have a little section in the legislation where it talks about it's mandatory to have preventative harassment training, not just on the policy.
We reached out to the Ministry of Labour, Immigration, Training and Skills Development for a comment, and we did not receive a response by our deadline. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
15 hybrid wolf dogs have been relocated by the Ministry of Natural Resources from a property in Greater Sudbury. Conservation officers and vets seized the animals in Wanapate after the owner pled guilty to illegally possessing them. CTV's Alan Everson reports.
A wolf dog under sedation is loaded in a trailer to be checked on before being transported to an approved licensed wildlife facility in Ontario. The Ministry of Natural Resources was on site at a Wanapate property, enforcing a court order to seize the animals.
We've got conservation officers that are here as part of the Sudbury Enforcement Unit. We also have staff from the Bearwise program that have expertise with relocating wildlife, specifically large wildlife. And then we also have a team of vets that are here as well.
The MNR says some of the hybrid wolf dogs were chemically immobilized to be handled safely and secured for transport.
With regards to today, we've got a variety of specialized equipment, including staff that are trained in chemical immobilization. So if required, we may need to chemically immobilize some of these animals in order to get them into crates, and then we can use the reversal drugs to wake them back up and then be able to transport them safely.
The former owner of the dogs was on his property during the seizure, helping to calm the animals as best he could. He says it's a sad day, but one he knew was coming.
I feel very lucky, actually, because it could have been a lot worse. Like, prime example, that would have been like in BC when, you know, they showed up and euthanized all those ostriches. At least with my dogs, it's not going to be the same case, and at least I know they're leaving this property alive.
The animals were moved in trailers and bear traps, modified with plywood to enhance their safety and comfort during transport.
We're looking at public safety here today, and we're also wanting to make sure that the animals are well cared for and that they're transported safely here today.
As of our deadline, the MNR did not get back to us about the location of the approved wildlife facility or if the hybrid wolf dogs will be living together as one unit. Alana Everson, CTV News, Wanapitei.
It's time for a quick break. Coming up on CTV News at 5, Rick has your full weather forecast. And with the cost rising, the federal government is putting up more money to clean up forever chemicals in North Bay.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Had a chance at lunchtime to meet a few weather watchers at Rudy's Restaurant on LaSalle Boulevard in Greater Sudbury. They like the weather. They like it when it's nice. Not sure they're going to like it when it's cold. This is what we've got going on. Forecast radar right now. We managed to get rid of the flurries and the squalls right now. We've got a bit of high pressure coming in and some sunshine eventually. We'll get to that momentarily. As you'll see, Sudbury Nickel Belt, your forecast. Mainly cloudy tomorrow, the odd sunny break, -9, -7. Sunshine on Friday. Saturday, chance of flurries, -9. Sun and cloud Sunday, -13. And the chance of flurries, -9 on Monday. Not a bad forecast for this time of the year, better than the last couple of days. Sault Ste. Marie Algoma, chance of flurries, -5 tomorrow. Chance of flurries Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, -4, -9, and -6, your daytime highs. How about Timmins, Cochrane, and Kapuskasing? We've got the chance of flurries tomorrow with a high of -10, so somewhat colder in some parts of Northeastern Ontario. Friday, flurry activity, -9, -13 Saturday. Sorry about your Saturday. 60% chance of flurries, 30% chance on Sunday at -15 and -11 on Monday. Take a look at some of the overnight lows at -13, -14, -17, and -19 on Saturday night. How about Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake? Chance of flurries tomorrow, 30%, -9 your high. -8 on Friday, some sun and cloud. Chance of flurries, 60%, and -17 at night, Saturday and Sunday. Now, Sunday's forecast a bit better. At least you'll get a sunny break or two. Chance of flurries, -14 your high. And the chance of flurries on Monday at -10. So that colder weather creeping into the forecast. Here we are, just a couple of weeks away from Christmas. North Bay, West Nipissing. Chance of flurries for tomorrow, -9, -7. Mainly sunny on Friday. I like that. Saturday, chance of flurries, -7, -12 on Sunday. Sun and cloud, -17 at night. And Monday, the chance of flurries at 40%. Daytime high of around -8. So, Tony, here we go. We get a bit of a break in the action. No noticeable precipitation in the forecast, but flurries lingering, no significant amounts. And again, a little colder for those who may like the cold, want things to freeze up for those outdoor rinks. Back to you.
Thanks so much for that, Rick. The City of North Bay and the Department of National Defence are extending their agreement to treat and remove forever chemicals. More on this story from CTV's Eric Tashner.
It's a two-pronged approach to treat forever chemicals, PFAS, while also protecting the North Bay drinking water supply.
We would love to be able to eliminate. However, right now we're at the stage of mitigating.
The airport is where firefighter training from the mid-1970s until the late 1990s took place. The substances seeped into the soil. The airport is near Lees Creek, which connects to Trout Lake, where the city draws its municipal water.
Over the past 9 years, more than 160 wells have been sampled. Testing showed that there's 25 private wells that exceeded provincial guidelines.
The current level of PFAS in the municipal water supply remains lower than the interim guidance level provided by the province of 70 nanograms per litre. However, it is above Health Canada's final objective of 30 nanograms of PFAS per litre. 4 years ago, the city and Department of National Defence agreed on a $20 million mission to remove and treat PFAS, with DND covering 97% of the cost. Remediation work began at the airport in fall 2024. 26,000 tons of contaminated soil was removed and disposed of from the so-called PFAS hotspot. The city and DND have now agreed to extend the airport soil removal and cleanup until 2037.
We move together and we work together to make sure that everybody's drinking water is safe.
The cost is now pegged at a whopping $122 million, with the federal government still responsible for the 97% share. The city's portion is around $4 million.
We can work towards areas that do have PFAS impacts in the soil, however, not at the same concentration, as well as focusing now on surface water and groundwater.
$8 million was also approved so the city can conduct a 6-month pilot project at the water treatment plant to find an effective way to treat the PFAS.
Then we can move to an efficient and effective design for an upgrade.
A long-standing drinking water advisory for Lees Creek remains in place. There's also an advisory for eating fish from the creek. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
Residents in Sudbury are getting a sneak peek at what will be in the final draft of the city's updated downtown master plan. CTV's Angela Gemmell reports.
About a dozen residents check out displays and speak to representatives about the future vision for Sudbury's downtown.
People are starting to see the opportunities again downtown, especially with the new event center coming, the art gallery, the library, and we're starting to see that buzz return.
This was the third community session over the past year for the city to garner public input for its updated downtown master plan, although today's event presented the feedback from those previous sessions. The master plan outlines ways to revitalize the core through economic, cultural, and retail activity. It had included a list of projects, but most have been completed. This updated draft plan is meant to better reflect current priorities.
The major things are how are we reacting to the event center and the cultural hub? So what do we need to put around those projects to support those projects, but also to support downtown revitalization? So there's ideas for more residential development, hotel development, more commercial development, and so all these ideas are coming through.
Landry says this latest plan includes livability and well-being in the downtown, but much of those details and actions are already within the city's homelessness initiatives. None of the residents at the session wanted to go on camera, but many told CTV they either live or frequent the core.
People care about downtown. There's a massive portion of the population that really wants to see downtown thriving again. And we're getting people come out and add their comments and add those contributions so that it's a real community-wide plan.
The updated draft downtown plan will be presented to City Council in late January or early February. Landry says if City Council adopts the blueprint, city staff will return later in the year with a 10-year action strategy to implement the plan, including budget realities. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
And they're on the ice this evening. Coming up on CTV News at 5, just a single Northern team is playing in the Ontario Hockey League. We'll tell you about the matchup in a few minutes. Welcome back, everyone. You're watching CTV News at 5. I'm Tony Ryma. A vital organization supporting Sudbury's most vulnerable is facing a funding crisis. The Go Give project says it may be forced to shut down critical outreach programs in the new year. CTV's Amanda Hicks has that story.
On any given night, the Go Give Project helps up to 200 people experiencing homelessness, substance use, and mental health challenges, connecting them to treatment and care. But now the future of its core services, known as Welcoming Streets and mobile outreach programs, are hanging in the balance, with funding set to expire on December 31st.
We are facing uncertainty as far as funding challenges go. Throughout 2025, we have stably operated our Welcoming Streets and mobile outreach program. The two are very closely integrated together. And as we come up to January, we still don't have any clear answers on what that funding might be looking like.
With the deadline fast approaching, the not-for-profit has already been forced to lay off 11 staff members. Community outreach worker Nakoma Van Every is one of them.
It's a little tough, especially right around the holidays. I'm more worried about our guys that are out on the streets. Because I know a lot of them depend heavily on our service, from simple things like just giving them a ride to somewhere where they can access other services, or just a friendly face to help them out on a day where they might be having a tough time.
The Welcoming Streets program mediates issues downtown by connecting vulnerable individuals with services, while the mobile outreach program delivers essentials and harm reduction supplies to those in need during late night hours. Up until now, downtown Sudbury offered financial support to keep the programs running.
We definitely had discussions where, the impression may have been that there would be additional support from the business improvement area, but again, their board has collectively decided that this should be municipally funded, and we do support that decision.
In the meantime, the Go Give Project is calling on the community for help through its Giving Tree campaign, with a goal of raising $100,000 to keep its life-saving outreach services running until the end of March. Details can be found on its website or their social media pages. Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
Well, North Bay residents will be paying more for water next year after Council passed its water and wastewater budget for 2026. The jump is 5.27% compared to last year. For the average customer, the water bill will increase between $43 to $50 a year. A significant portion of the budget supports core infrastructure, maintenance, and upgrades, including water mains, pumping stations, and treatment facilities. North Bay also announcing it has hired a new chief financial officer. At last night's meeting, Shannon Saucier will take on the role. Saucier has been with the city since 2014 and has served as the Director of Financial Services and Director of Strategic Initiatives. To the Ontario Hockey League now, where the Sioux Greyhounds are in action tonight. They'll be taking on the Kitchener Rangers at GFL Memorial Gardens at 7:07. Earlier this week, the Hounds acquired St. Louis Blues prospect Lucas Fisher from the Sarnia Sting. The Greyhounds gave up defenseman Hunter Solomon and 5 priority selection picks ranging from 2026 to 2029. She's a psychotherapist and also an author. When we return, we head to Timmins for our Northern Book Club segment. Folks, you're watching First at 5. She is a registered psychotherapist in Timmins and has written a new book. Let's bring in Katya Carrier. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm very pleased to be here today.
Your book is called Secrets of Your Majestic Heart, Your Sacred Journey to Healing. So why write this book?
It's been a long journey. And the reason why I wrote this book is because through my own adversities and healing from trauma, several types of trauma, going through the education system, obtaining a master's degree, working for 24 years as a registered psychotherapist in the front lines of trauma, healing, crisis intervention. There was one thing that was always missing in the education system and in the healing world with Western medicine and then your traditional methods. And I figured it out after doing several years of research and then using that method, which is the heart healing method. And once I started to use it myself, realizing that, wow, there is a healing wisdom of intelligence, of instincts in the heart. And when I used it myself, and then I went on to study, do research. I looked at all the healing methodologies across all the cultures on the globe, and I was able to figure out one commonality, which is the heart, and that has never been written. So that was one of my inspirations, is to study, utilize it, and actually I've been using it for over a decade in my own psychotherapies.
Katya, you touched upon trauma. Are we talking about intergenerational trauma from residential schools or other traumas throughout your life?
So yes, we're talking about intergenerational trauma and collective trauma. Specifically to my book, I talk about all types of trauma. So it could be family trauma, childhood trauma, workplace trauma, loss and grief in someone's life is always trauma. Physical trauma, an illness, an accident that has taken your life away. So I talk about all types of traumas that are integrated in the book and how to use the heart healing methodologies to work through those specific traumas.
Thanks so much for your time, Katya. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Katya Carrier was our guest, and to see more of our authors and our Northern Book Club, head to our website, CTV News Northern Ontario.ca. With 2 weeks until Christmas, Santa is making a stop in Bruce Mines and Plummer Additional Township Saturday, December 13th. The theme for the Parade of Lights is Retro Holiday Glow. The parade starts at 6 p.m. Following the parade, you can enjoy a hot chocolate social at the Bruce Mines Community Hall. To Richards Landing on St. Joseph Island, where last week the Lions Club presented a $500 check to the Matthews Memorial Hospital Association. The money is in connection to the association's tree lighting ceremony that happened last Saturday. And check out these Christmas lights sent in by a viewer. They wanted to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. That's beautiful. And if you have any pictures, Christmas lights, videos, or events you'd like us to showcase, you can always email them to us at communitycloseup@bellmedia.ca. And there's more news for the North coming up at 6 o'clock. For now, continue watching as we hand things over to CTV National News.